Welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about forgiveness. Before I start, I'd like to mention the fact that we are energy beings. We were built with three responses to danger: fight, flight, or freeze. Now, our ancestors suffered the threat of saber-toothed tigers or Vikings, and the reality of it was either to fight, to defend yourself, to run away, or to hide. Fight, flight, and freeze. Nowadays, there's no saber-toothed tigers, there's no Vikings, except what's in our mind, our fears of the future, our fears of our past, our fears about trauma events that happened in the past, and the repercussions in the future and how it can affect us. And this causes us to either fight, flight, and freeze. Now, when we fight, flight, or freeze, it might be true getting anxious, getting depressed, getting angry, getting bipolar, becoming obsessive or compulsive, disassociating. All these are behaviors related to the three responses we have in our system to fight, flight, or freeze. And a great way of healing ourselves is to forgive. Now, some people ask me, but how can I be expected to forgive those who harm me? And I want to explain to you that they don't deserve forgiveness for them. What they've done to you, the pain they've caused you or caused I, they don't deserve forgiveness for that. What they've done can't be undone, and it's a crime that they've done. Now, the thing is, it's not your battle, your charge to keep trying to mete out justice to them. That will never work. But you can be certain that when they arrive at the pearly gates, they will pay the price for what they've done to you. God will visit the wrath of God upon them. They will burn the fires of hell for what they've done to you. Just understand that that's what's going to happen. No one escapes what they do in this life. There's a price to pay for what they've done. But the problem is, until we forgive these, they hold rent-free space in our head. I've mentioned earlier on, they don't have to be in the same room. They don't be in the same house. They don't be in the same street. They could be in a different town or country. They could even be dead. But if we're replaying the event over and over in our minds, we are actually doing it to ourselves. That's the horrible truth. The person who harmed us, when they harmed us in that moment, they were the abuser and we were the victim. But as long as we keep replaying it in our minds, we become the abuser as well as the victim. And that's a really sad, horrible truth to this. And the only way you can release it, you can't just pretend it didn't happen and try and block it out. That won't work. Somewhere down the road we get triggered and it comes back tenfold. But the trick to do is to forgive them. Forgive them knowing that they will pay the price when they come to meet St. Peter at the pearly gates. That they will have to pay the price at some stage, but for you to forgive them so you can eject them from your mind and have peace of mind. This is why we forgive. Now again, you get your list you had from the previous episode, and it may be depression. And you forgive your depression for overtaking your life. Depression is one of those coping skills for fight, flight, or freeze. And in that moment when you were abused or terrorized or bullied or teased, it was very effective in keeping you sane. The problem is it became dependent on so much that it overtook all our other coping skills and it became a problem. So you forgive your depression, your anxiety, your disassociation, your bipolar, your eating behavior, your self-harming, your attempted suicide, whatever it is, you forgive that with love and gratitude. Lord God, I forgive this behavior of mine. It was very effective at one time. Now it's turned in upon itself and I want to release it into your care with love and gratitude, and I forgive it completely. And you make the same right down to your list, your behaviors, your responses, your angry outbursts. Release them all, forgiving them to God. And then you go to your parents. I have such anger at my parents for not protecting me as a child or for being a part of my problem. Whatever it is, and you release them with forgiveness. So they're no longer holding rent-free space in your head. So you can't be triggered in the future because they're gone. You forgive them completely. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, right down to your family, your friends, your colleagues, your bosses, ex-bosses, ex-jobs, whatever it is. And when you get to the very end, you keep your demons to the last, the person who harmed you, then you give them forgiveness. And you find that over the period of this section, you've given so much forgiveness out that when it comes to the one you thought you could never forgive, you find the bank of forgiveness you've created in you enables you to say, I forgive that person, I wish them the very best of everything I want in my life, I want them to have, and I release them into your care, God, with love and gratitude. And in so doing, they no longer have rent-free space in your head. You now gain peace of mind. It's a wonderful sensation to have this peace of mind, to know that you can go to bed and they don't come back to haunt you in your night time, or you're walking down the road and you see a colour of a car that the person drove and that doesn't trigger you because they no longer are living here. They're now gone. God's taken them off you. And he only takes them off you for 24 hours at a time, so this is going to have to be a daily practice. And what I used to learn to do was, I wanted peace. I needed peaceful sleep. I needed to break between yesterday and today, and then today and tomorrow. So before going to bed, I would ask God for 6 hours to 7 hours to take this person from me. Then I would forgive that person. That would be the works to go with the faith. Faith without works is dead. So you do the work, the faith is more effective. And you release it. So please, make your list, hand it over to God, and then do your part by forgiving them unconditionally without any reservation. It may sound really difficult, and it may be very difficult for you, but over time you'll find that the payoff is ginormous, because they no longer hold rent-free space in your head. You gain peace of mind. Thank you for joining me for this, and I'm going to share with you the 30-day challenge in the next part. Thank you.